My name is Jimmy Roppolo, and graduated from A&M in 1970. Started out on a management training program with Farmland Industries at Producers Co-op in Bryan, Texas. And from there I went to Baird, Texas. It's east of Abilene. It was a big move for me to move clear across the country, and seemed like, but ended up being a very good experience. It was a small co-op, and I'd set my goals to be a co-op manager, and actually in about 2 years I was one, so it was pretty quick movement, and I stayed at Baird about 6 years, and from there I worked for an independent friend for a little while and putting together some businesses for him, an ag eco major, and then I came down to Campo working for Farmland Industries as a sales rep and calling on co-ops in the area. And after about 2 years, I was hired by a co-op down at Danabang, and spent about 6-7 years there, and managed the co-op there for a while. Just kind of decided I needed to move on, and I moved to an independent for about 18 months, and I worked for an independent fertilizer company as their sales manager over at Bay City and Crowley, Louisiana. After that, I ended up coming back to El Campo here, where I came in as agronomy and assistant manager, and came in July of 1985 and ended up being manager in December of 1985, and I've been here ever since.
Wow.
Actually, when I graduated from college, advisors weren't what they are today, and when I graduated from high school, I'm sorry, and they recommended, my advisor, I'd made good grades, and recommended that you need to be an aerospace engineer, or you need to be an engineer. That's where the money's at. So I went to A&M and got in the Corps and decided that I was going to be a chemical engineer, because I loved the chemistry in high school, you know, and I had a really good teacher. After about 3 semesters, after the first semester, you know, I did decent, but not great. But and it was like, wow, this stuff is tough, you know. And then I decided that, you know, I really don't like chemistry. Agriculture is where my life, and that should have been a big hint. So I changed to agriculture engineering, but it was the same calculus and physics and things like that. And of course, the other issue back in those days, nobody advised you how many hours to take. So I was taking like 18 hours and had 3 labs, and so I was, you know, it was just in the Corps, and it was probably too much for me. I, like so many other people in this registry, I'm probably not a lot of them, but another honor I got at A&M, we got up and talked about our careers at A&M and what was going on when we were there, and a couple of the guys talked before me, and they both had been on scholastic probation, and I said that must be a prerequisite for this honor, because I was on scholastic probation too. Actually, I had a senior in my outfit that was an ag eco major, and he told me about some of the opportunities in ag economics, and I was called in and said, Roppolo, you got to make a C+6 to stay in school, and I've never been approached like that in my whole life, so it was a big failure to me, and I was pretty down. But I changed to ag eco and made distinguished student that next semester, and things just, it was just what I liked and what I really did. I just started out in the wrong, and I know so many kids do that, start out in the wrong profession, but I got into ag economics, and I really love the courses, and I love making decisions for agriculture. Well, probably the one that stands out the most is the Ag Eco Club. In fact, that's where I was introduced to co-ops. Never knew anything about co-ops. My dad farmed all these years and paid thousands and thousands of dollars out, and never did he get anything back. And we had a guy one night at our Ag Eco Club from Farmland Industries, and he came in and talked to us about co-ops and how co-ops help producers and their owners, and they get money back if the co-op makes money, and the co-op tries to be competitive, and it just really struck a bell with me from that night on. From that night on, I decided that I wanted to be a co-op manager. So that was probably the one activity that really shaped my career. Of course, the Corps, I owe a lot to the Corps too. Corps had me deal with so many people and so many situations. upperclassmen were hollering in your face and whatever, and and I just got to the point where I got callous to that, and I could muster up a smile. And there's been many times in my career where a customer was really upset or something, and we got into a shouting match, and I could just kind of take a deep breath and muster up a smile, and it really changed the whole complex of things. When I was totally caught off guard, Ed and them got me there. My wife, I should have known something. She was fairly anxious to go, and my son went, but I swear I didn't have one clue that I was going to get the award. I thought I was doing it for Blair so he could see what some of the people that are getting this award to kind of boost him. He was at A&M at the time, and I thought, well, this is going to be a good thing for us to go to. He's at school, gives us an opportunity to go down there. So, but the Timm Honor Registry is probably one of the most coveted awards that I've received over all the years that I've been in business, and all the department, just they've always been there for me, and there's been a lot of help to me. I call on from time to time, and it's just I can't explain. It's the awards I've gotten from A&M are probably the most prestigious awards that I've received my whole career. That's a really hard question because I'm a workaholic by choice. I love to work. I love dealing with people. I have a cattle operation. I do registered Brangus, so that's kind of my off time. We go to the A&M football games, and we spend the weekend there in RV, and we do things. My wife cooks quite a bit, so we're always together at dinner and stuff, and we do things together, but not near as much as I should, because this job is so it's so intensive, and it's 7 months out. 12 months out of the year, 7 days a week. I always take phone calls Saturdays, Sundays. On vacation, I take phone calls. My wife sometimes doesn't understand that, but I feel like when I call somebody that I'm looking for an answer, and I know that when they call me, they're looking for an answer, and I don't want to be left out. So it's a really tough battle, but the cattle are kind of my hobby. They're an expensive hobby, but I enjoy cattle and horses. But that's my getaway time. And Aggie football, I don't hunt, or I fish a little bit, but my wife is, her lifelong dreams to have a swimming pool, so we're doing that right now. So she says you can have your cattle, and I got my swimming pool. So, but we do real good together. Basically, what I tell students, and I told some young kids yesterday working for me at the elevator, they're high school kids, or some of them are going into college, and I was a little put out at some of the things they were doing, and I just called them in and said, look, I'm really disappointed in you kids that you got an opportunity here, and I says, there's one of you here that's hustling and showing off, and not showing off, but showing that he's interested in working, and he's doing a good job, and he does it every step of the day, all day long. I said, now this person, I said, you have got, you got the capability, and you've played football, and you know what it takes, and I need you to hustle all day long. You got the capability. I see little spurts, but I don't see the effort that I like to see. And I say, this is an important job, but the main thing that I first of all try to get kids to get a college degree in some field. Hopefully it's a field that they've experienced, and I like to give them the opportunity to come to the co-op and visit show what we're doing, and show them the elevator and how we're hedging grain and selling grain for people, and our hardware store, and how we're handling people and figuring break even on cattle that we're feeding, and hedging those cattle, contracting those cattle, and trying to cover all the risks today that there are in farming. We talk to our producers every day about. So I think getting them involved, and I'll say internships are phenomenal. I think that's the way to go. We have an intern this year who's an ag eco major, and just doing a great job. Everyone I've ever had have done a great job, and they've gotten a good taste of because our co-op is so diversified, a good taste of all phases of agriculture business. So I recommend that internships are great, and give it a lot of thought, and don't be afraid to change, because I changed from engineering to ag economics, so I'm very excited that I did. You know, I don't know how many young kids check our webpage out and stuff, but the thing that I see today from younger generation is the texting and things like that, and communication face to face is not near what it should be. I think I know that times are busy and they got a lot of things on their plate. They can do a lot of different activities. The main thing is I tell our people, always treat, and I tell the students, always treat people like you want to be treated, and that's talk to people like you want to be talked to. Answer phone calls immediately. Don't just not call people back, and that's one of my very pet peeves, is my employees don't call a producer back when they got a question. I have no need for them. But do what you say you're going to do. Be honest. Be honest with your people, and have the intensity. I asked a class recently, how many of you done something or did something today or yesterday that you're proud of? And I think one or two persons raised their hand. And I'm proud of something I do every day, and I tell students, look for something to be proud of every day. Look for people to help every day, and think about the people that are around you that you're working with, and talk to them in a manner that you respect them, because I think showing respect earns respect. And I think I have probably 70 people working here for me today, and I have no reason to think if I told them to tear down this room that it wouldn't be tore down tonight, and that's just the way. But that's the kind of drive I like to see students have, and be noticed when you're working. I think that's one of the biggest things, because every place I've been and everything I've done has been because somebody noticed what I was doing and the job I was doing, and I just take pride in that. And I think our students coming out should take pride in going that direction. I see students come to class, sometimes they look pretty slouchy, and I understand that, but don't go to an interview looking like that.